And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are chefs in a kitchen. We're going to be making lots of different recipes, turning up the heat on those pans, flipping around the pans to warm everything up. We're talking about pressure cooker. This is from Rio Grande Games, plays 2 to 4 players in about 30 to 60 minutes. Let's take a look, I'll show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. Pressure cooker, to start, everyone gets their own board, which has 4 different colors of recipes that you're working on and 4 different score tracks. You also get a menu that shows you for each type of order what additional types of ingredients can be used to be put into those. In a 4-player game, we set it up so we have all 4 colors, red, yellow, green, and blue. With less than 4 players, then you only use those 3 colors there. Now when setting this up, if at any point in time the first 2 cards the top score adds to 16 or more, you don't put a 3rd card. So here would be a setup for a 3-player or less game, and there's a ton of tiles placed face down. This is actually about half the tiles in the game. There's a ton of these tiles in the game. Now what players are going to be doing is they're going to be drawing tiles, the face down tiles, they're going to be bringing them back to their player area, they're going to be looking at them, and then deciding if they want them or not. If they want them, they can place them on their board. I'll show you some of that later. If they don't want them, they place it face up, back near the pile where everything else is. So there's going to be some tiles that are face up here and the majority will be face down. And what you're trying to do is to complete orders. For example, if I wanted to finish soup, I would have to get a mushroom tile, a bread tile, and the onion tile. If I get all those 3 tiles, now this is red 1, 2, and 3, for example. So as I got tiles that went with red number 1, I would put it in the red 1 spot here. They can go in any order. And once I have all 3 of them done, now I would need still the onions, but there are some tiles out there that say any. And you can use this for any ingredient, and I could put that on there. And that would be complete at this point, and I could yell out, order up. I would then put my token, since I'm the first one to complete this, on the 6-point mark. The next player would put it here, the 3rd player would put it there. It's possible to have a 4th player waiting here in case somebody didn't do it correctly, but that doesn't happen too often. And you'd also put a token on there to let you know that you can't add anything else to that because that order is done. Now here we look at the salad and we see that it needs lettuce, but it also requires 4 more ingredients from the menu. So in addition to that lettuce, I would have to grab 4 ingredients from any of the ones that are legal in the salad to place on there to be able to finish it and yell out order up. Now this salad's a little different. You need at least a lettuce, and then after that you can add anything from that ingredient list that I showed you, and you get 1 point for each, but you can do a maximum of 4 of those. But those are optional. The sub, for example, you need bread, cheese, and salad. Then you take, in addition to that, meat or chicken or the ham. Also, there's another one here that says salad. You need 4 ingredients from your menu, but they can't be the tomatoes or the eggs. So you can't use that one or that one, but you can use all these other ones for that salad. So people are constantly taking tiles one at a time, looking at them, deciding whether they want them or whether they don't, taking some of these tiles, adding to the orders, doing orders up, finishing orders. Now this game is 3 rounds long. In the first round, as soon as anybody completes 3 orders, they can turn over the timer and start the beginning of the end of that round. In round 2, you need to do at least 4 orders. In round 3, you need at least 5 orders done. So let's say round 1 is there, someone had completed 4 orders, and they yell pressure cooker. They would flip over the 1-minute timer here. That's how much time the rest of the people have. They would then take their token and put it in the fastest. They're going to get 8 points later. We'll talk about that in the scoring. So once this timer ends, people stop, and we go to scoring. Now in scoring, we would first make sure that we go in order, make sure that people actually did their ingredient correctly. So soup, we would check this, the brown player there, and we would prove that he has the order. He had the bread, he had the mushrooms, and he had any, so he has everything. So he did get those 6 points for the first one. And so he would then move his dial up 6 points on the red dial. Now these dials, by the way, almost are useless because they move so easily that they can get bumped around, so we end up using a pen and pencil, pen and paper. And if the black player also did, they would get 3 points. Now, if they had an incorrect ingredient, or they didn't, let's say they had a wrong one in there, they would have to, everyone else would get 2 points in the color dial of their choice for each incorrect tile that they had put in there. And once it's been notified that it is correct, they each put the chip from that there, because at the end we'll see who has the most there for those points. We also look to see if there's a quality bonus. Now let's look at this. This needs at least a quality of 9, and the person who has more than 9 but has the most will get an additional 2 points for that red dial. Now each of these tiles has a quality on them. Look like this. We have a bread that's a 1. We have mushrooms that's a 1. And we have this that's a 1. So that only is 3. I needed 9 or more. Now you'll notice some of these they all have different values. For example, a cheese might have 2 here. It might have 3. Sometimes they actually have -1. So there's all different variants here. So since I didn't qualify for that bonus, I couldn't have gotten it. But if I had more than 9 in my quality and I had the most, I would get those extra 2 points. You also have these first appetizers. This actually doubles the amount of quality, and it has to be the first tile that you put down when doing a recipe. And then when I would go down here, it would double. So instead of having 1, 2, 3, I would have had 6. Now, if you don't finish in order that you do this, you actually lose the amount of points that you would have gotten if you did claim that quality bonus. So it's a little bit of gamble there. Also, some tiles give you 1 additional point. That I would get 1 more point on my dial for this because it's there. That's how you score 1. You would do that for all the rest of the cards that are there. Then they would come off at the end of the round. The person that was the first to flip the timer would add 8 points to any colored dial that they want on their scoreboard. And the person who had the most completed would get 3 to put on any of these dials. And that would end a single round. We would then start round 2. It would play the same way. We'd start round 3. It would play the same way. Of course, you need more orders to stop the round. Each round, new cards will come out. These will get completely swiped and new ones will come out just like how I did here. At the end of the game, your score is the lowest of any of the 3 colors, or 4 if you're playing a 4-player game. So let's see, I had 30 in green, I had 34 in yellow, and I had 25 in red. Red was my weak color. My points for the game is 25. So that's how you play it, and the one that has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, well, there is Pressure Cooker. Okay, this one. I love the theme of food. I love food games. Restaurant Italia is one of my favorite food games. It was in my, I think, even top 20 or 30 of all time this year when I did my videos. I love that theme. It was drawing me to this. I like the idea of drawing those tiles and trying to figure it out. I really like the end scoring, where you know, that sort of ingenious or Tiger Euphrates scoring where you only get your points are the lowest of any of the colors that you have there, so you have to be balanced. I like that aspect. Looking for the tiles is fun. Overall, this game didn't really do it for me. It was okay. It was kind of boring, honestly. And that might just be a personal thing, because some people really like exploring and looking for those tiles and finding the right thing. And, ooh, I found the one I want, but it only has a quality of 1. Good. Do I put it away and try to find one that's higher and go for the quality bonus, or do I just want to go for the fastest? And it can be interesting. There could be some interesting things to think about there. The components felt a little low quality, especially the boards with those dials. My gosh, they're so beautiful. They would have worked so well to have those things actually work, but they just spin around all the time. It's like they don't stay still, so you can't ever really use them for scoring. It would have been great. It was a great idea. It was just executed pretty poorly. So we ended up having to use paper and pencil, which then at the end of the round, you're looking at it, trying to figure out what to do. It would have been so much easier just to have it working the way it was supposed to work. So that was a big disappointment here. And you know, the ideas of going for the fastest or going for the quality is interesting. Taking the tiles already there versus looking for other ones. It was okay. I would say it was an average game at best, though. It didn't really knock my socks off. It was just okay. So if you like those exploration games where you're trying to find tiles and you like the theme, then this one might be just great for you. But for me, it just didn't quite carry the torch the way I had hoped. But that's what I think about Pressure Cooker.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.